if many of you would like to switch on your videos. It's great to see some of you. I already know some new faces, making me more enthusiastic. Wow, great. Thank you so much. Chakra happens to be very favorite subject. God knows why. Of course, we're going to explore it. It is definitely. It is not esoteric as such, very, very practical, and we're going to see it in this program. Today, many of you might have joined with the consideration that, do you want to go forward with this course? And some of you already participated. So today's class is going to be an introduction class, setting up the base for energy, chakras, etc. So allow me to quickly share the screen in the next moment. Are you all able to see the screen now? Fantastic. So what are we going to do on this week 1, module 1, is we're going to explore chakras, set the foundation right. There is a very big chunk of theory that we all need to understand before we dive deeper into chakras. When it comes to chakras, many of us have some idea through this picture, what I have put on the screen as well here. We all have, maybe many of us have got exposed to this word chakra, or we know about this picture, some centers are there which helps us emotionally, mentally. But trust me, I've always seen a big confusion with everyone when it comes to the details of application, that how do I really work on these chakras? Is it practical? Is it esoteric? It doesn't work? Is it too old? What is it all about? So it is really an important subject matter where we're going to bring a lot of clarity on this subject. We're going to try our best. I mean, not so easy as well. So when it comes to introduction to chakras, I'm very optimistic person, and I am. But I also wanted to be very practical when it comes to this subject matter, that the subject of chakras is not going to be that easy one, like we have been discussing some other yoga trainings and programs. It is definitely a little difficult to understand and accept the existence of chakras. The reason is simple, because we can't see them. And we can't even feel them the way we feel some energies. So it's going to be a little tough and difficult to accept it. There are different interpretations of the science of chakras. So we have a lot of ancient sciences, theosophical movements. We have Rosicrucians from Europe. We have some tantric texts, and modern science have completely different ideas and opinions on chakras. So for some of us, it might be again more confusing that, no, what I had studied was this chakra, color is this, and it's located here. It's not here. So what I would recommend is, do not get confused. Trust some source, because if you really see, they all have some overlapping and parallels in all of this concept that they present. So what lineage they follow, what theory, what gurus they had, depending on that, little bit of differences you're going to see in this concept of chakras. But over and all, there are many, many parallels that we can draw, and that will bring us to some more clarity in this program. Okay. So mystic or a yogi will describe the chakras in a very spiritual way, with some colors and petals and symbols and some mantras. But for a doctor, it is very difficult to accept it. Maybe for a surgeon, it's something is happening there. Some bunch of nerve fibers are more concentrated, and they end up calling it plexus. So here I will give you an example that how sometimes there are different opinions and different ways of understanding and seeing chakras. It's like you see a person with a binoculars, you're going to see that person slightly bigger. You keep your binoculars aside, you're going to see that person completely normally. And then if you happen to see that person under X-ray, then you're going to see all the skeleton, right? And if you again happen to see it on something different, like into the gastronomy, you're going to only see the person's intestines and stomach and everything. So same person, but we are using different lenses and we are seeing it. So this is what one thing is common with chakras. So you will see that there are some overlapping facts, at the same time difference of opinions when it comes to chakras. Now, before understanding chakras, it is extremely important that we understand the energy system and subtle bodies. As per many people who are living life, fast-paced life, busy, earning, family life, the only reality is sometimes this material world and physical body. Because we can easily discern with our physical senses, we can see it, and with our rational mind, we can comprehend that, yes, these are the only two realities that we perceive. So this is all about it. But it is very important, before we dive deeper into the concept of chakra, it is extremely important that we consider our complex energy system, without which the physical body could not exist. In fact, we should see that this energy bodies, these different components of energy bodies are actually fueling our physical body to function. We should consider it that way. Although we can't see them, but that's the powerhouse which is helping our physical bodily functions of all the organs and everything that is happening inside of it. So before we dive deeper into chakra concept, we are going to go little in depth of our energy system, the complex energy system, and I've broken it down into 3 components for our today's understanding. Okay, so we have subtle body, and I will explain it from different point of views in the next slides. We have subtle body. Subtle body is basically what we cannot see, not this physical body, but subtle body. Then we also have inside of this subtle bodies, nadis or energy channels or passages. And then third component is the chakras, finally, what we are going to explore in detail. So we have chakras and or energy centers, we can call them. So one by one, these 3 systems we're going to explore in today's class, and eventually coming to our chakras. So let's see our subtle body. And this concept has been several times discussed in my all the classes, because I find this lens is very useful to understand our existence beyond physical body and get convinced about our energy bodies, prana kosha, and etc. So this concept is from one of the yogic texts called as Taittiriya Upanishad, right? So in Taittiriya, and I'm sure many of you who have some background of yoga must have heard about this important concept of development of our personality and healing our body through the approach of Panchakosha. Any which ways, this is not the subject that we have to go into the deeper right now, but just to come closer to our chakras and energy body, we need to know what does scriptures say about our subtle bodies. So these are the 5 layers of our existence that we have. So starting from first is Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, which it's easy to comprehend. I can see you, you all can see me. Even doctors can perform some surgeries and procedures and get ourselves checked. So it's easy to see our physical body. But as we go more subtle inside, we have energy body. Then we have our mind and emotions, which is our mental sheath, Manomaya Kosha. Then we have the wisdom body, eventually coming to the bliss body. So these are the layers of our existence as per yogic text of Taittiriya Upanishad. They say that we are not just this body, but we have other layers of existence too. So this is from Taittiriya Upanishad, and we are going to also see the similar concept, but has some different names, which is an explanation from Vedas or Vedantic explanation of our subtle bodies. So you can see the picture here. If you've already understood Panchakosha precisely for now, you will see that there is again a parallel between these two different descriptions. Now, Vedantic explanations says that we have three bodies. One is Sthula Deha. Sthula Deha means physical body. You can refer to the picture that you can see on the screen. And then we have this subtle body. Subtle body is all these three koshas. Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, that is your energy body, mental body, wisdom body. So we have this as a subtle body. And the third is the Karan Deha or causal body, which is Anandamaya kosha. So this is a description of Vedantic explanation, where they say that we have these three bodies as well, where we have to focus more on the subtle body. Some synonym references that you all might come across when you are trying to read any texts on energy, pranic healing, Reiki, on details of these subtle bodies are some etheric body, astral body, mental body. So these are all synonym terms to whatever you're seeing on the screen right now. So you don't have to get confused about these concepts as such, right? So if you have any questions, can just put at the end of the class. I will take it up shortly for all of you. I know these concepts sometimes are difficult for everyone to understand. So if you have any doubts, we'll surely address it at the end of the class. So Deha Traya is what is the Vedantic explanation, right? And then we will move further from here about this vibrational frequencies. Now here, gradually every concept that we are discussing, we are slowly getting closer towards the concept of chakra, right? So every body that we discussed, and even it was the Taittiriya Upanishad concept of Panchakosha, or it was the concept of Vedantic, where we discussed these three bodies, all of these bodies, because they are energies, and everything that is energy is moving constantly, it has vibrations, right? So it will have some frequencies always. So each of these bodies possesses its own basic vibrational frequencies. So obviously, our physical body has the lowest frequency, so which means lowest energy. Subtle body has a bit higher vibrational frequency than the physical body, and causal body has the highest amount of frequency. And if you really happen to see, we can't see it, I'm just putting an analogy here. If there was some graph made to understand what is happening inside, you will see that all these bodies are constantly dancing. You know, these energies are going up and down, and it all has individual frequency range, but they are overlapping, they are dependent on each other. They interact with each other, but they maintain their own frequency all the time. Okay, the levels of our vibrations are directly equivalent to our vital energy. For example, the higher the level of frequencies and vibration frequencies, you will see that the vital energy, the prana, sensations, and awareness level is also higher. So this is something we all can see even in our ordinary life, that when we appreciate the prana or energy level or frequency of some personality, we see that they are in a position where they are more sensitive, they are more mindful, they are aware. So levels of vibrations is directly equivalent to the amount of energy that person have is more sensitive and is more mindful and aware person. Okay. And as mentioned, energy bodies are not separate. They are not separate identity. They interact with each other while vibrating at their lowest, higher, or highest frequencies, like that. And then the next concept, the another body that we were talking about, the component, is the nadis or energy channels, or this is a passage of prana. Okay. So before going into nadis, we are going to understand what is prana. Okay, so many of you from the yogic background, you might know that prana, Shakti or energy, is very, very important when it comes to understanding some theory behind the practices. Okay, so the Sanskrit word prana we can be translated as a vital force or the universal life energy. We find some similar concepts in our Chinese and Japanese traditions too. They call it chi or ki. So the concept of energy is not just restricted to our yogic text or Indian text, but many, as you know, the medicine, energy medicine or meridians, the concept of acupuncture, acupressure is all related somewhere to this concept of prana. Okay, so if I have to really define the word energy, or I have to see the physics approach, more modern approach or a scientific approach, the word energy comes from the Greek word energia. Okay, this combination of two words where en means inside and ergon means to work. So we can translate as ability to do something, the strength of getting things done or the activity. So already we can see that it's all about work and activity and it's moving. But we can, this is more like, you know, a scientific aspect where the energy is measured, or it is more into the quantitative form, that how it works inside the body. It's more of the scientific approach. But there is also another aspect where energy is intangible, where of course we can't touch or see it. Force, often described in positive and negative terms, emitted by people, places, and objects. So this is something I'm sure many of you will connect to when it comes to energy. How many of you really think that when you see some people, person, or place, you sense some energy? Right? So you can put in the chat box, yes, no. So sometimes when we just enter the place, or we see some people, we suddenly feel that I'm feeling very positive in this place, or I feel very positive with this person. So this is how I have been feeling mostly, and especially with Govardhan Ecovillage, you know, staying there. Whenever I see some spiritual master or some, you know, senior person coming in giving classes, I feel that wow, the atmosphere has completely basically changed. So I'm sure many of us on day-to-day basis, we definitely feel this aspect of energy a lot with people, with places. Okay, so coming back to the branch of metaphysics too, which is you know, beyond our physics and exploring the concept of energy, the first particle, the first object of everything that is available in the matter in the universe. So it has found that the smallest elements of the universe are fundamental particles characterized by different vibrations, which are attached to each other like in a string form. So you see everything is attached in a string form. These are tiny packages of energy. Okay, so there's a string theory that they have to present. So why are we discussing all of these things is because we have to get convinced about the concept of energy first and its vibrational frequencies. And all these concepts are going to take us gradually closer to the concept of chakra. So we are putting little more, you know, time and energy on understanding the energy aspect in our body and everywhere. So where is prana basically? Prana is inside of us. We all can experience it even if we can't see it. And the common thing that we might see, as in observe, telling each other that I have no energy today, I'm feeling very low, I'm tired, I'm feeling very high, I'm feeling energetic. So this is all, you know, terms we generally used in our day-to-day life, but we really, when it comes to this pranas concept, we don't delve deeper into it as far as practice part is concerned. So even that area of us needs that nourishment and understanding properly to evolve. So after prana, I'm going to come to again the pranic frequencies and consciousness levels connection. Okay, so as we said that prana is inside of us, prana is outside of us, and everything in the universe is composed of energy, right? Vibrating at different frequencies. So our every thought, our belief that we hold, our emotions that we experience, and actions that we take. It creates vibrations of energy. Now, this will be very synonym to the concepts of law of attraction that is so popular nowadays. I don't know how many of you have actually learned it or understood it or used it or trying to understand how do I attract things. A book of, the book, Secret Book, and many modern speakers who are talking on law of attraction, actually all the resemblance you so much get in your traditional texts as well. So this is where they say that every thought that we have, belief that we hold, emotion that we experience, and action that we create some vibrations of energy. Okay. And energy is a nice internal vibration. What we feel inside, we reflect outside. So this is again a no-brainer concept. How many of you can put yes in the chat box, that how many of you felt little nervous and fearful, and or you were agitated inside, and it has not shown outside, right? It shows up. It shows like your whatever was inside of you, whatever emotion or how you felt has reflected outside, right? So you can put yes in the chat box if we all have experiences that what we feel inside, we also reflect outside. So what we are putting out, obviously we're going to get it back. And this is what law of attraction is precisely all about. Of course, there are a lot of details and a separate class on this subject, but all these talks are so much connected to different parallel sciences of healing and goal setting and getting what we want. So it's pretty much connected. Okay. So whatever we attract in our life, even today, is what resonates best with our mental and emotional constitution at that given point of time. So whatever your state of mind was, whatever your emotions were at that time, you're exactly attracting that kind of a thing. Maybe at some point in the present moment, in last few days, you all have been contemplating on working on your inner self, working on your emotional health, working on your mental health. And maybe this is the reason somehow you came across this chakra course as well. There is definitely a connection to it. Somewhere you had this contemplation that I want to look beyond physical. I know that physical health is important. I will take care of it. But you all are convinced at some point that it's not just your physical body and the symptoms or the things that you do for it are going to make you feel better, but there's a need to work little deeper. Maybe this thought resonated somewhere, and maybe you are putting out that thought in the universe and you come across this course and immediately you thought, okay, I need this one. I need to go for this course. This is how the law works, Okay. And another aspect of consciousness, and here I can give you the example of human beings and animal. The frequency of prana that we are able to absorb and store defines our level of consciousness. And this is where we are different from animals. Animals are not able to kind of store prana, absorb more pranic shakti, or work with prana. And that is the reason why there's a difference between us. Ideally, there should be. But remember, if man is also not absorbing and storing prana, I think we are same then, humans and animals. But we have that power. So that is why we can change our level of consciousness. Okay. I'm seeing some hands are raised, but I think I'll take the questions at the end so we have an uninterrupted experience. You can note down the questions that you have. Okay. So we spoke about prana. We are convinced that it exists inside of us. We all are born with certain amount of prana, and this very much depends on our birth, by the way. This is something very karmic. We don't know how much prana you have. Everybody has different prana. And but how much prana you still have has been very much to do with your lifestyle so far. So whatever prana you got by birth, yes, it's a gift to you, maybe less or more, whatever. But your activities, your lifestyle, your food, the surrounding that you stay in determines how much prana you still have inside of you. Any which ways, now whatever prana that we are talking about, it definitely, the energy, the prana, it flows inside of us. It is flowing inside of us, right? And now it does not flow randomly. It has a specific passages through which it flows. And this passage is called as nadis. So this prana shakti that I'm talking about, the energy, is flowing through these channels or passages called as nadis, right? So nadi can be referred to as a channel, stream, river, or a flowing, something that is flowing. Okay. And I was very amazed to see this diagram that I found in one of the Hatha Yoga books or the ancient scriptures of yoga. It's crazy, right? Yeah, I mean, of course, we're not going to study this picture. It's out of our purview. We cannot really study this anatomy of 72,000 nadis, as they say. So there are 72,000 nadis through which the prana is flowing. And these are subtle channels. Okay. Now you might ask me a question. Can I see this nadis? How is the prana flowing? No. So an example that I always give in my classes is, can you see the aircraft in the sky? Yes, we can see it. That's how the prana is flowing. Now, can you see the roads in the sky? No. Does it mean that aircraft is just going randomly here and there? No, it has a specific route, right? It is following some specific route. And whoever has at all worked or seen some maps in the aviation industry, you will know the route map of aircrafts looks very similar to this diagram. I know the diagram is more tough, but looks very similar to this chart that you see on the screen right now, the picture that you see on the screen. So yes, there is a specific route for these energies to travel inside the body. So according to the yogic anatomy, there's again a difference of opinion here, but majoritatively all the texts say that there are 72,000 nadis in the human body through which the prana shakti, our energy, is flowing constantly. Okay? Now, out of 72,000, some says 80 are important and 14 are important, but mainly as per the yogic text, we have to only focus on the 3 nadis, which are very important for us, for our physical health, emotional health, mental health, and spiritual well-being. So we have to focus mainly on the 3 nadis. And you can see here gradually we are now coming closer to the concept of, inner body, and you can see some intersections happening, some energy centers. We are coming close to the important subject now. Okay. So which are the 3 principal nadi? Those are Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna. So you can see it on the screen. And for those who have signed up for the course, don't worry, we already have found one WhatsApp group. I'll be sharing these notes with you, but I'll be also happy if you write it down, because writing will enhance your memory of the concept that you're listening and trying to write down. So just hearing might become very, passive activity. So try to take the notes irrespective of you are going to get this anyways. Okay. Coming back to this 3 important nadis, Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna. Okay. So Ida nadi starts from the base of our spine and goes up, as you can see in the diagram here, just like a DNA structure. So the yellow one is Ida nadi, goes up, it intersects another Pingla nadi with a blue nadi, and like in a spiral way, it goes up and culminates at our eyebrow center, or slightly what we can say is above our nostrils, where we have this bony structure somewhere near the our third eye center is where these 2 nadis culminate. And one light yellow line that you see is the main Sushumna nadi. It's a main channel here. Okay. And wherever they are meeting each other and intersecting each other is the location of our chakras. I'm going to come to the chakras in the next slide, where we're going to explore in detail more about the location of it. But for now, remember that, look, the energy channels, which are most important in our body, are also meeting each other, intersecting at this important junction. So something is definitely happening a lot at wherever the junctions are there. So you can see that this is where our chakras are. So for the energy enhancement, for opening of the chakras or healing the chakras, these 3 nadis are extremely important. And over the period of time, every week, you are going to see that how our sadhana or our practice are going to be also connected to purifying of this nadis, which is one of the requirements. So this is also important concept that I thought I will share on the first class itself, where we set the base of the practice part as well, and of the locations of this nadis. So Sushumna Nadi, the center one, is a central integrating channel for connecting the chakras. So you see the center Nadi is actually connecting all our chakras. And it is considered the most important energy channels. And obviously it also starts at root chakra, the lowest chakra. For those who still are not familiar with the names of the chakras, don't worry, we will cover it up now. And it goes up with the crown chakra, the Sahasrara chakra. Now, it flows straight up to the center of spiraling Ida and Pingala, as you can see in the diagram, and exactly connects each other at the point where the chakras are located. Okay. Now, what activates Sushumna is the balanced flow of Ida and Pingala Nadi. And this is the reason. Of course, I usually take this subject also in detail, but since the chakra class and introduction class, I'm not going into the depth of it. But remember, some practices that many of you might be knowing, or it's popularized a lot, Anulom Vilom or alternate nostril breathing practice in pranayam, for whoever knows it. If you don't know, obviously we're going to cover it up, but I'm sure some of you might be knowing it. So that practice is one of the prime important practice which cleanses our Ida and Pingala. And now you know why yogis are holding the left nose and the right nose, because it's to do with Ida and Pingala. So we are actually cleansing the nostrils. And that cleansing is bringing balance in our Sushumna where chakras are triggered. So many things are happening. Maybe for a person who is normally doing pranayam, he might not know that what benefits I'm getting, but he's already working on the chakras indirectly. And that is why he or she sees some benefits on deeper levels and not just the physical body. So this is the benefit of, cleansing this Ida and Pingala. And as per Hatha Yoga scriptures, the imbalance between Ida and Pingala is actually the main cause of disease. So balancing them in a way is giving us two-way benefit. It is also keeping our physical and mental body healthy, because every nadi is representing something. Pingala represents bodily energy, the pranic shakti in the body, and Ida represents our mind, our mental energy. So balancing them is also equally important as parallelly working with the chakras. So this was a little bit about the nadis. As we go further into every module and sadhana, we're going to discuss these concepts in detail. But for now, I want to set the background for how the location of chakras are. And if you still have any doubts, note it down. I'll address it in the end. So this was about Sushumna Nadi and Ida and Pingala Nadi, which are important. Now we are coming to our actual subject after like almost 40 minutes of the class. Like, what are the chakras now? So intriguing and so enthusiastic everybody is to know about chakras on like after New Year's, everybody wants to hear chakras. So interesting is that. So let's explore what are chakras. The word chakra, as many of us might be knowing, it means wheel, comes from the word chakra, means wheel, circle, whirlpool, the center, disc. Okay. So when I'm speaking about the prana shakti or energy, so these chakras are the energy centers throughout our body, where energy channels are the nadis, which intersects with each other and concentrate. And that is why there is a pool of, there is a more concentrated circle, as we can see, because they are intersecting with each other. Okay. The best example I can give, or the best description of chakra is it's a hub of energy management. They are receiving the energy, they are transforming the energy, and they're distributing the energy to the entire body. And where are these chakras located? I'm going to show you the picture in the next slide, so you will have some idea. But they are just for a theory purpose. I'm saying that they are located along the Sushumna, which you just saw in the previous slide, the center channel of the body, from the base of the spine to the top of the head. And through that, through that wonderful location and strategically placed location that it is in, it helps to control the distribution of prana through the entire body. Now, each chakra governs our different processes in our daily experience and operates on a different energy spectrum or vibe. Each chakra has a different vibration, remember that. And just for your information that generally speaking, chakra vibrates clockwise in that direction. So managing, and this is how it manages different aspects of our holistic self and functions. Okay. Now, every energy center, as per the yoga text and tantric texts of yoga, is represented by particular colors and a certain number of lotus petals. And some, you will see some Sanskrit alphabets, which is a root mantra that forms the sound for it. So that is also used for meditation sometimes. And as we explore every chakra in every week, we're going to see the details of each of these chakras this way, and of course, do various other, understand various other aspects of it too. Okay. So this is little bit the basic information about chakra. Okay. Now, one confusion that has always existed in different yogic texts is number of chakras. Okay. Yes, the widespread school of thought says there are 7 major energy centers, but there are several schools of thoughts depending on, various understanding books and lineages. Some say there are 21, 12, 9, 7, 6. Why 6? 6 is also a right number, as some say Shat Chakra, Shat Chakra, which means that the top chakra is not considered that something we have to work on. It is outside of our body, it says. So that is why some schools accept 6 and 7, but nevertheless, maximum one has to study on, 7 chakras. And definitely every school of thought also believes that there are various other minor chakras that are located in different areas in the body. But these are major ones that one has to work on, which helps in the proper energy distribution. So that is sometimes a difference of opinion with different texts, but majoritatively 7 chakras is what we are going to discuss also in this. Okay. Now, this is something interesting that you should know is chakra kshetram. Now, previously we discussed about, I'm going to go back to the slide here, the location, and you can see it's in somewhere in the center of the spine. That is, it's going along in the line with Sushumna, right? However, many yogis, for the practical purpose, in the past, in the books, they have mentioned the kshetrams. Now, kshetrams are not exactly the chakra locations, but kshetrams are located on the front surface of the body, where you can say that if the chakra is in the center, I kind of draw a straight line in front of my body. That is where I can kind of put the trigger point of it. So we can say they're reflections of the original chakra trigger points. And many yogis of the past and gurus have put this sadhana also on chakra kshetram, which they have found it very easy to work on the chakras. So rather than it becomes very difficult, for maybe a new person who is still working on to understand the location of chakra at the center of of the spinal cord. But the kshetrams are much easier because they are in the front of the body. So you can see on the diagram here, in the chart here, there are kshetrams. You can please ignore, because I was not finding any authentic picture of the kshetrams in the books. So the books have also given some other small minor chakras. So ignore above the head what all different things you see, do you ignore that? But you can just focus on the kshetram, which are the chakras we're going to work on. Again, one more thing, one of the authentic text reveals that Mooladhar chakra, the lowest chakra, does not have any kshetram. But still in the diagram, I found it for the representation point of view. But as per the book, Mooladhar chakra does not have any kshetram, and it is difficult to have it in front of the body because it is located at the base of the spine. But never mind, there are various practices. And I feel this is why the reason they have given the kshetram in such a way that there are certain practices and bandhas which actually relate to activating Muladhara Chakra and working on the Kshetram that you see on the screen. So that can be the reason I feel they have given the Kshetrams. But many texts, authentic texts, say that Muladhara does not have Kshetram as such. Okay. So what do yogis used to do? One of the aspect of chakra sadhana, one of the aspect. There are various ways you are going to see how we are going to work on the chakras. But one of the ancient sadhanas was actually concentrating on the kshetrams. And what would happen by that? Okay. So we are creating sensations and vibrations which passes through the nerves to chakra itself, from the kshetram to chakra, and then travel up to the brain and brain to chakra. So that connection we can establish just by putting our focus and awareness on the kshetram part. Okay. So when we are going to do some chakra meditation and visualization of the locations, we might use this aspect as well in our practice. Okay. And then we come to how our health and chakra is connected. This is a very precise information that I'm sharing today. We are going to go into the depth of every individual chakra in detail and its connection with various of our emotional, mental, and physical health. But you can say that this is like a combination and overall benefits of chakra healing or chakra and how our health is connected. So if you slightly remember the location of each of the chakra, you will be very surprised that how our endocrine system and chakras are so connected. Okay, so everywhere we have some hormonal changes, issues, we have glands, is where exactly all the chakras are located. And obviously it is going to have the great impact on our physical and emotional aspects of our being. So chakra is corresponding to our specific body organs and emotional aspects. Okay. So actually with a small baby, all the chakras are in balance. They don't have to do any chakra sadhana or balance or heal or anything like that. But as we grow as an adult, we fill our life with a lot of experiences, negative, positive. We carry a lot of traumas, emotional baggages. And this is the reason why we kind of bring some imbalance in our chakras, and which prevent them from spinning the way they would want to and not vibrating at their natural frequency. So that is one reason adults have to work more with the chakras and not children. The health of the chakra can be negatively impacted even by some death of some loved ones, some childhood trauma, or any kind of a accidents or major event of life, which can create some blockages or a gradual disruption caused by any kind of stress, anxiety, poor lifestyle. And this will show up gradually. This will show up in your physical body and emotional health as well. Then the next is how, like, we speak in terms of chakra healing. This is not in any of the, like, in detail or any authentic text, but this is mainly what I have taken is from some pranic healing concepts, that how do we understand whether the chakras or what's wrong with it, what is the disturbance, what is the imbalance in it. So usually they talk about that particular chakra is overactive. Now, why it is overactive? Because it is compensating for something. Something has happened. So it is like really working hard, taking energy from other chakras. And because of that, the other chakra can be facing some deficiency. So this imbalance can happen sometimes. Sometimes the chakra can be open. When it's open, of course, it's fantastic. That's what we want. The energy is flowing freely through it. But sometimes it can be closed temporarily. Then the third aspect is you can have blocked chakra, where you can see that energy is flowing a little bit, then sometimes it's blocked, it's not flowing fully how it should be. So partially closed, partially open. So we can call it as a blocked chakra. These are usually some terminologies used by pranic healers when they are doing some chakra healing and cleansing your aura and etc. And leaks and impurities are connected to the auras that pranic healers, they see in us. So when we have prana, when we have frequency vibrations, we have aura also. Yeah. And this was actually seen in Kirlian photography by one of the scientists. So it is like we can see some colors and prana around us, the aura. And sometimes because of the imbalance in chakra, we can see that this aura is little disturbed. And there are leaks in that. And something from outside, negative or any impurity can enter into it. And that was also one of the reasons the chakras can be disturbed. So these are the some of the common terms used when it comes to what's wrong with your chakra or what is the problem. So this is how, we are going to see for every chakra. So in upcoming days, how the flow of our course is going to be. It's going to be mainly on each chakra, the details, the location of it, and some sadhana practices that how we can open up with that chakra and how to identify that whether my chakra is overactive, whether it's closed, open, blocked, some traits that we usually see in our nature, personality, some disorders that we might have, some emotional imbalances are going to give us the hint on which chakras we need to work a lot. So this is how we're going to explore this chakra disturbances over the period of time, every week one chakra. And over the period of time, the whole week when we are not meeting, I am going to give you some activities on the WhatsApp. These are like journaling activities or something that you need to do in the nature or some kind of reflections that you need to come out with after this understanding that particular chakra trait. So the whole week is going to be actually a practice also, a sadhana also, and then we're going to discuss the next chakra. That's how the flow of the entire program is going to be, with keeping this theme in the mind. Okay. So now I'll just open up for question and answers. I'm just going to stop the screen share so that.
Mataji, one quick comment. String theory is a theoretical concept and not practical in terms of research. They have a lot of speculation they're doing and they have no idea what they're doing ultimately. And this is acknowledged by physics. Just a comment.
Yes, that's very true. So, but those who have done some practice and sadhana of pranayam, the simple feel good factor sometimes that you experience after your yoga practice or pranayam or some kirtan, bhajan, whenever you are feeling that kind of happiness, you are actually working with your chakra. Your chakra is getting influenced by it. So although we may not use the term chakra all the time that I'm working with my chakra, but remember, chakra is not when you just sit and meditate on the 7 locations. Different activities are also indirectly helping you, vibrating your energy frequencies inside of you. So anything that makes you feel good is also it. So I think it works more with the feeling part and you experiencing it yourself. And that's why many yogis never got into research in the previous days, because they were so contented and satisfied with their own experiences and with their well-being that they didn't think that let it be, it's just with me and it's personal. This sadhana is very personal actually, in a way. That is why it remains very much to yourself and how you feel. But thank you for your comment. Anybody has any question about the flow of course, how it is going to be, or anything like that? Or anything from today's class? Any comment, any suggestions?
Hello. Hi. I really liked the session and introduction, so thank you very much for the presentation. I just had some questions from the presentation that I just made some notes about. And when you said the chakras, is it the intersection between all 3 nadis, so Sushumna, Pinga, and Ida? Like, is it all 3 and that's the chakra, or is it just 2?
All the 3. In fact, not just the 3, but more. Many nadis are also going there, but definitely wherever these 3 nadis are meeting, Those are the important chakras in the body. Since there are many chakras in the body, so wherever some other nadis are also intersecting each other, those are also minor chakras in the body. But definitely in line with Sushumna, and this is exactly how you saw the diagram, the zigzag path is where the chakras are located. Those three nadis.
And one more question, if it's okay, was when you talked about the aura and you talked about, I guess we talked about Panchakosha and we talked, yeah. And how do you are you going to sort of explore this a little bit more as well?
Yes, we'll have to explore it more for sure to understand it more.
Yeah,
definitely. Okay. Because every chakra, we're going to speak about various traits of it and how it is connected to our physical health, emotional health, and mental health. And this is exactly what Panchakosha is all about. This is exactly how we are improving our aura or our frequency or vibrating little on a higher frequency. So all these subjects are going to get explored more and more in a more personalized way with every chakra. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Shruti or Sudhakar ji, you have a question? Shruti, you can ask.
Hi, thank you so much. It was really wonderful. Of course, yes, I didn't understand the subtle body part. I mean, when it came to chakra, because I do have little basic understanding of the chakras, but the subtle body part kind of just went too much for me. So would you be explaining that in a little bit more detail? Or
yes, I will be.
Because,
in fact, if there is anything that is still not clear, I can precisely still make you understand a little bit.
yeah.
But any which ways we are going to. So specifically, more than going into the Vedantic explanation, to make our life easier, I'll explore Panchakosha more. And
Okay.
I can quickly, for next 2 minutes, for all of us who are here, we can understand that concept. So Taittiriya Upanishad says that we are not just this physical body, but we have a lot of layers inside of us. Just like how we have cabbage or onion, for an example. So usually the modern concept of disease or something like the modern concept of personality development is all about where we work on our body and a little bit on the mind sometimes. But yoga says that because we are not just body, how can we not work on the other aspects of our beings too? So the first layer is our physical sheath or the physical body. Okay. So that is what is our body, and we can see it. It's easy. We can understand it. Doctors can see it. So easy to understand, comprehend. No brainer here. Everybody is convinced about it. Now it's get a little tricky. So when sometimes we end up saying that, today I have no energy at all. I don't feel energetic, or I'm feeling very high. What are we referring to? We are referring to the energy body inside of us, which we can't see, but we can feel it. So which is a proof that yes, I have something more than my physical body, and that is my physical sheath. My pranamaya kosha or energy body, right? And now, as we go more inside, the things get more subtle and subtle. And then we have our mental sheath, manomaya kosha. Now, obviously, we all have mind, right? Even if you need to have mind to say I have no mind. Our thoughts, our feelings are the proof that we all have mind. So we have mental sheath too inside of us. And this is what is our subtle body actually. And then we go more deeper and we call it as a wisdom body. A wisdom body is something where, for example, during this entire program, imagine if I give you some diet restrictions. That just for your chakra awakening, blah, 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 you all have to stop eating sugar for 1 month. I'm not going to do that in this program. If you only join my detox program, I do that. This program, I'll give you some hints on diet, but not all, of course. So next time when you cross some beautiful ice cream parlor around your house and you feel like eating ice cream, suddenly something inside of you tells you that, no, I don't want to eat because I should not be. So obviously this works a lot on your intellect health as well. If your mind is stronger, your intellect is going to be stronger, vice versa. They are very much connected. So that is your wisdom. That is coming from your viveka buddhi, your discrimination that no, for this month, because I have committed to some purpose of chakras, I'm not going to eat that ice cream. So this is your intellect body, and
This is called as the
intellect sheath or Vijnanamaya Kosha. Shruti, have you enrolled for the course by any
Yeah.
chance?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share this picture and slides too, and you can write it down, no problem. So in case if you are still not there. And then the last is, of course, our Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss body. Now, we can't speak much about this because this is our state of being. It's just where we have forgotten this state because we are too entangled with our energy body, mental disturbances, emotional disturbances. And that is why we don't realize that, oh, we are Sachit Ananda, or we are supposed to be, blissful, or we are connected to the divine. So we forget all this connection with the divinity, and we are stuck with our basics, physical problems, emotional problem, mental problem. So the things that you can't see, but you have inside of you, this phenomena is your subtle body. And all your chakras, your energy work is happening in this subtle body. Now, what is the concept of disease as per you, as per Panchakosha? The disease first originates in the mind, in Manomaya Kosha, as per the books. Because it is not addressed there, some symptoms will show up, that you have more mood swings than before, or you have lost enthusiasm for the things you like to do before suddenly. But what normal human beings do is they distract themselves with entertainment, drugs, parties, or mundane social life, and we ignore that aspect, but we don't take the step on healing. And then slowly, since these layers are interconnected and intertwined with each other, it is now coming down to the physical body, and now it's too late. It's in the report already. We could have reversed it before, but it's too late. So subtle body is giving us hints all the time, like our emotional health, our mental being, our pranic body. These are inside of us. Okay. So this is the concept of subtle body. Subtle means sukshma, something that we can't see. So that is a simple definition of a subtle body. And all this non-conventional medicine, holistic healing, pranic healing, Reiki, various healing aspect of naturopathy, yoga, Ayurveda, they will never only treat the physical body. They will always give you some lifestyle tips, and that is to heal and bring balance in your energy levels through, giving you some advices on correcting the energy levels in all of these bodies. So this is a concept of subtle bodies. Okay. So got some idea about it? This chakra course is a wonderful opener for all of you to become more sensitive towards your subtle body. And trust me, it will happen. It's a wonderful opportunity. If you always thought that I love these concepts, but I have not really understood what's happening inside and subtle and energy. I know all this, it looks fascinating, but I personally have not been able to work on it. But the more contemplative work and exercises that we're going to do every week, trust me, you're going to be an amazing, mindful person at the end of the program, being more aware of your subtle faculties. So this is one of the benefits that you all are surely going to get, along with a vast number of benefits for yourself. Okay. So Shruti, I hope I answered you. And of course, this was an important concept that many of you heard as well. Kripa Moya Prabhu, or forgive me if I'm mispronouncing some names.
No, you're fine, Mataji. Thank you so much for wonderful insight into the chakras. Really appreciated that. So I have a question, like when we do this course, so will we be equipped with the knowledge to diagnose? Like if say I have some symptoms or somebody tells me some symptom, emotional, physical, to get like where potentially which chakra may be out of alignment, out of balance, close, open, something like that. And what we could do to alleviate that problem or the dysfunction of the chakra.
Yes, Prabhu. So from the yogic perspective, you're going to get all the insights on how to help others also. But as I just want to mention that this is not something Kundalini awakening or pranic healing. So this course is not about these two concepts. So that help you might not be able to give anyone at this point of time. But yes, if you have some yoga background, it is going to be fantastic. Even if not, we are going to take you through that. So yes, on a basic level, definitely you're going to help others on their emotional and mental health and physical health as well, by at least understanding that what chakras they need to work on, because that's what you're going to do for yourself also. So
Right.
that checklist kind of a thing and ideas you're going to get from this program for sure.
And one more question. Do you or would you suggest some kind of practice where even if I am not or I don't dwell into which chakra is closed, open, or whatever the problem is, but some kind of daily practice which we can do to holistically balance chakras?
Yes, we are going to cover all of these things in our weekly.
Okay.
Of course, first we will be discussing on individual chakras, and then the concluding session will be more on giving you a holistic practice for yourself, for others. So that will be covered.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's all I have.
Rasa Parayani Mataji. Rasa Parayani.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class. A few questions I have. One is, as Prabhuji asked, like if we are already some therapist, I won't say yoga or whatever, and if we have this chakra knowledge, and is it possible for us to diagnose the patient better and also use this chakra knowledge in the healing of the patients? Like, means, can I heal the other person also after doing this? That is one question. And secondly, like for example, in Reiki and all, I have heard that there are, level 1, level 2 initiations that happen. So when we are doing this chakra course, or not only doing this chakra course, but for any chakra knowledge that we have to get, is there any such initiation or something like that that also happens in this case? These are the two questions I have. And one more question is of the aura, but then first, Prabhu, you could answer this.
Sure. So, Mataji, I see your questions are more aligned to what is Reiki and on pranic healing. So, this program is slightly different than pranic healing. We are not going to cover much on aura cleansing or anything like that. This course is derived purely from yoga scriptures. So, you will see a lot of yogic aspect to chakras on this course. And for that matter, yoga texts have not mentioned any of the initiations or any kind of specific sadhana that a giver has to do. So we are not going to have any of those aspects here, but definitely what we're going to take you through is a depth of theory and practice of everything. Now, if you are already a healer, fantastic, because you will connect to the concepts much better and you will be able to give one more holistic idea, approach, and a tool that you're going to get to heal your patients or any participants who are coming to, for the emotional and mental health, but no initiation levels as such like we have in Reiki, and not even any aura cleansing as we do in pranic healing. Those are completely different courses. This is more on a yoga, yogic, like you are going to get some ideas on kriyas, mudras, asanas, some more grounding activities. So it is more a yoga-based program.
And one more question about the auras. Now, I don't know whether this is the right forum since it's not related to aura cleansing, but still, since you mentioned in one of the slides, I would like to know that I have read that there are people who can visualize the auras. So, like, is there any? I don't know how people can feel or visualize the auras. So, can you throw some light on this?
So as far as yogic texts are, I am personally not a pranic healer. I just want to say that. So I have but really studied yoga and chakras through books, through teachers. So this is what I'm going to share with all of you. So I really wouldn't know the answer based on the pranic healers angle, that how do they see aura. So I am not sure on that. I have not done in-depth study of all of those things. I know I can give you a theory answer, but personally I have no realization on that. So that I would not know. As far as yoga is concerned, your checking aura of someone is based on various emotional trait of that person as per yoga. So there are some questionnaires that we give them actually. And based on that, we understand that, okay, this person needs to work on this chakra, that chakra. And obviously, overall, when a lot of chakras are weak, the aura is weak. So this is a common thing that we do in yoga. There are list of questions and behavioral patterns and traits that person has been observing for themselves. And this is the way we diagnose. We usually don't see any aura or feel it unless and until the person or the guru has that kind of chakra awakening where they can see it with their physical eyes. But this is something, again, out of purview of this course of, going through this siddhis or something. So nothing like, pranic healing aura that I'm aware of. Okay, a lot of questions. Wow. Okay, one by one. Resh, provided you've put the name correctly, I'm not sure.
Hare Krishna, I wanted to find out, will this course explain how to unblock compounded trauma or how to protect your aura from negativity?
Yeah, so the course is all about that. This is exactly what we're going to do. Before going into, cleansing, we need to know what has created a block, where has that block been stored now, whether it's base chakra, whether it's above chakra, root chakra. So where, in what chakras, in what energy center exactly this blockage has happened. So after understanding that, there are some tools to work on it. So this is what we're going to do exactly on upcoming 7 weeks, 7 chakras. Every week we are going to discuss that how it feels when the Muladhara chakra is imbalanced. What are you going to be feeling? What are your emotions? How your physical health is. If this is a problem you have, then it's connected to that particular chakra. So that happens only when we diagnose that where it is stuck right now. So all the activities and theory that we're going to deliver every week is going to reveal that to you. It's very difficult to say in one class right now, the answer, because it's a very huge subject and we need to understand every chakra in detail for it. Okay. So Resh, we will like to welcome you for the course. You should do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vishakha?
Hare Krishna, Aarti. Hare Krishna, Aarti, ma'am. My question is again repetitive. After we diagnose as a beginner in the course, like maybe which chakra there is a problem, and the post-diagnosis, will we be capable of at least healing ourselves or like cleansing ourselves?
Absolutely, yes. That's the goal of this program.
Okay.
How much you cleanse, how much it works on you, it depends only on you. But yes, you will get some amazing tools from my side. Now, your consistency, your discipline, your faith, and your willpower is going to determine how you heal. But definitely, you're going to get some amazing tools every week to worry. If you sincerely follow everything, you will be gradually seeing some benefits soon. Remember, Chakra Avanik is not a 1 week or 1 day job. Please bear in mind all of these things. Sometimes it takes a session, sometimes it takes 12 years, 12 weeks. It's all up to you and how much blockages are you holding in that chakra. So a lot of details are there to each, but definitely when you follow some techniques mentioned, something is going to trigger for sure. It's not going to go waste fully, but it takes time for that complete awakening and balancing. So patience, time, many things are required for it.
Okay, so maybe we have to revisit the classes.
Yes, exactly. You have to understand the tools, start applying them, see how it feels, and then reapply them wherever you need that. Okay, this is where I need to work more, this center. These are my traits for sure, which are, troubling me a lot. So I need to work on this more often. So even, of course, now I'll be giving you a time for a week to work on your one chakra every week. So for example, next week, we are going to work on Muladhara chakra. Like we're going to speak on that. So whole week, I'll be posting all the activities that you have to do to enhance your, work on your balancing the Muladhara, the first chakra. So that's how it is going to go. But maybe 1 week is not enough. So you revisit that, redo it again, and understand that tool. That is most important.
Okay, and physical ailments related to the chakras will also be explained. Like
absolutely, it's a very important part. Obviously, we need to discuss that for sure.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Most welcome. Pankaj Prabhu.
Namaste, Aarti ji.
Namaste, Pankaj ji.
Yeah, my question is, you have mentioned about the Panchakosha model,
Yes.
and when the spiritual texts refer to as the soul being Satchitananda, so is that the location where the soul is located, the Anandamay Kosh? Is that what we refer to normally in the text?
Yeah, some common references that I've found, they say that it's inside of it. The covering is our Anandamay Kosha, because eventually, even koshas we need to transcend, right?
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
a small covering is what many spiritual texts on Panchakosha have mentioned it that way.
So when many of the teachers, like, some of them, they say that, the number of chakras are even more, like 113, some say 113, and some
Yes, I
say
have
11.
heard it too.
So how
I
do
have
we
heard it too.
reconcile? I mean, of
I
course.
reconcile it to the 7 chakras only, personally.
Okay, so the primary 7 is what we normally refer to as
Yes.
the Shat Chakra.
Because it makes sense to me, the endocrine glands, you see where exactly we have endocrine glands, exactly there are these 7 chakras.
Okay.
Like, and we're going to see that with every chakra, we're going to see the correspondence to the endocrine glands, the organs that it is connected to. It's pretty much covers all our important organs in the body. So maybe other chakras are more responsible for movements, muscles, maybe, all of those things.
So so when we refer to as the location of the chakras, we had mentioned that, it is a junction point of the Ida and the Pingala Nadi.
Yeah.
So Ida is the nadi which carries the prana, and the Ida and the Pingala is a nadi which carries the mental energy. So do we say that the location of the chakras is somewhere near the pranic and the mental body, the
Yes. So
Manomay
when I
Kosh?
say, yeah, so I'll just put some small correction here. As far as reference is concerned, they call it the prana. Prana here is referred to as more of the bodily energy.
Okay.
So body and mind is what you can say more. And this is the two main, main nadis. This is the problem we have, imbalance between body and mind. So intersection between these two and those chakras must be most important. So this is where, I feel that focusing on this 7 is fair enough.
Okay. So basically, if I understood it correctly, the chakra is basically related to the pranic body, the pranamay kosh, or
Yes,
is it the
yes,
manomay kosh?
yes. If I have to wear the glass of Panchakosha and see that where are my chakras, then yes, it's Pranamay Kosha.
Pranamay kosh. That is the basic. If we see it from the Panchakosha model.
Yes.
And otherwise, how does the manomay kosh relate to the pranamay kosh, and how does it
So
relate
do
to
you
the
remember I
chakras?
mentioned these 3 bodies in the beginning, Vedantic explanation?
Yeah, subtle body, the physical body, and the.
So you know what chakras do? Chakras do one more job of spreading the energy. They are like a gate of these subtle bodies, different mental body, energy body. So located at Pranamaya Kosha, they're also going in a more subtle dimensions inside of us. And they are spreading energy to this different angles. They are like a gate, which are distributing energy to physical body, then energy body itself is where it is existing, and then throwing energy to other bodies as well. Because every body requires prana, right? Every subtle body. So this is how the scriptures mention about that everything requires prana. Overall, everything is energy body in a way, but they have different names based on the functions and traits that they show us inside. But it's all about, subtle energy bodies.
Okay, thank you so much.
Even your Manomaya Kosha is your energy body only in a way.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Kuntal ji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Nice to hear your voice again after breathing class. I remember.
Yes. I attended your pranayam one. Okay. Yes, I'm really interested in chakras, and I was actually waiting from your end for mudras also. Still, I'm waiting. Here, I have one question that when we are saying that we can understand the chakras are blocked or open or something like that, so there I have a question, like if a person is sick and like the problem, like what you can say Parkinson or something, and the person is completely in the bed, how do we, that means it is showing all the chakras are imbalanced or something like that?
No, no, no. Once we go into the details of these chakras, you know how certain chakras are connected to particular diseases like Agya chakra, Sahasrara chakra. So they are connected to some mental health issues as well. So in
Yeah.
that case, of course, unfortunately, that person actively might not be able to do. But as I said, we are going to see some yogic tools as well, where somebody can also help that person through various activities and chants, and every chakra has its particular mantra. We are going to see
Yeah.
that as well. Just like how we have Omkar, the same way we have mantra for every chakra. So, you know, somebody chanting for them or playing a tape of it can have some effect on that as well.
Okay.
And at the
Okay,
end of the day, for me, chakra is just one tool. Chakra healing, chakra balancing, awakening, whatever you want to call it, all the names are synonym to me. It's also one tool, just one tool.
right.
It's not the whole life. I'm not going to go crazy from tomorrow that, okay, chakra is the only way I'm going to heal myself. And that's it.
Yeah.
No. But if your lifestyle is faulty, you're not sleeping properly, you have stress, you're eating nonsense, no chakra can help you.
True,
So
true.
me, everything, I think I speak in all of my classes about, you know, emphasis on having a holistic lifestyle. That's
Yeah.
extremely important. And plus, these are some amazing tools, like how I do asanas, how I go for a nature walking, or how I will do some breathing practices. Same way, what if I know about chakras, it's amazing dimension inside of me. And if I can add that practice too in my sadhana of feeling, you know, better mentally, emotionally, physically, why not? So for me, personally speaking, I will not heal someone and leave everything aside and just take chakra as the whole skeleton, you know, for the health. I will be definitely working on various other aspects too, and which we'll be discussing. Yeah, as we progress in the course, you will see that I'm not just going to emphasize on chakra and the asanas for it, but various activities and exercises which are actually going to have a great impact on our lifestyle and beings too.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I have attended some other course for the chakras, and that's how I was. See, but what I understood, it is a practice which regularly makes a person to go with it. So that was, I was wondering that we learn about it, and then unless and until we practice it, many a times, even after knowing the things, uh, our mind gets disturbed, and again the chakra gets imbalanced or something like that happens. That's what I feel.
Yes,
Uh,
it's a continuous practice.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sudhakarji, your hand is raised. Yeah, I'll since long time, I guess. Sorry,
Any comments about autism and chakras and
I will have to revisit some of the notes that I have on this, and then I can maybe get back to you.
because I'm reading a book on autism, that's why I asked this question, and I care about the problem.
It definitely, yes. I mean, every aspect of our being is connected because chakras are inside of us, right? All of us, whether we are, whatever age we are in. So, you know, there's a separate practice of chakras for children as well, some of the asanas. So we have a group of practice for children that we take sometimes only on chakras. So definitely when it comes to autism, we can work more on the upper chakras more than on the lower chakras. So definitely something to do with the heart center, then throat center, especially the Agya center has to be worked on. So there is some specific sadhana, but this subject right now, it's like too vast and will be difficult to discuss just like this on like a small introductory talk like this. So are you part of the entire program, Prabhu?
Not yet. I want to be. How do I become part?
Okay. So are you added to some group by Priya Chaitanya Prabhu? How did you get the link of this program?
Mr. Yogesh Chaudhary.
Okay, from Mr. Yogesh, right? So he has a details. You can probably check with him, and or else I'm going to just post one number on the group. You can note it down.
Actually, yes, sure. You can just post it on the group.
Yes. So you will be added to a group where you get more details, or you can just go to our Govardhan Ecovillage website.
Okay.
And we have the course details there. Okay. Thank you. Definitely, many dimensions will be worked in detail when it comes to diseases with every chakra. It's a very vast subject, and we'll try to cover up as much as possible. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Mayank ji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to see you again. Do you remember me?
Mayank, yes, from YTTC. Yes. Because I can't see you, how can I guess, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But still I guess.
Yeah, nice hearing to you. Actually, I have a very simple question, but firstly, thank you very much for this session. I enjoyed YTTC also a lot. I have also taken some courses on Reiki and pranic healing, so I'm like little jack of everything. I'm not mastering anything, but yeah, somebody was asking about visualization in pranic healing. So I have done it, and it's like nothing that you see kind of grossly, but it's like you visualize something in your mind. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to ask about is that will you be giving some sort of like you talked about this lifestyle things, right? So like I'm like very much confused about what kind of diet should be there and whether the way we are making in our home, is it right or not? So will you be talking something related to that also in this course?
Regarding diet, you are saying? I just missed the second line you said due to some voice issues. You said about the
All right,
diet,
sir.
right?
Yes. So like in a holistic living, so there are various aspects. So of course, eating and sleeping habits are like one of the most important things. So particularly to the diet, what kind of diet should we have? That's one thing, and within that, I wanted to like get little more clarity on like, for example, we say we should eat ghee, right? Now there is concept of ghee and sarpi in Ayurveda.
Got it.
Yeah, so I'm not sure whether I'm getting your.
I was facing the same kind of nice questions in all the courses. So gradually what I did is I divided them. You know, I distributed the courses over the period of time where every subject gets a proper justice. Because what was happening is then with so many overlapping questions on diet, sleep, yoga, pranayam, chakra, children yoga. So everything was getting combined because everybody has family, everybody is eating, sleeping, has faulty lifestyle. So it's all interlapping, you know, overlapping questions. So what I did was just to give justice to the whole question and problem, we have divided it into a separate programs. Like, you know, I would encourage you in the future to join our detox programs. So detox programs are all about food discussions. Nothing else is discussed. No chakras. no, nothing much.
But you know me, I can't.
This subject is more of a energy healing and chakras and activities and asanas and pranayam. So I'm afraid I will be speaking a little bit, but definitely the amount of details and the amount of do's and don'ts that I talk in the food classes of detox, that kind of intensity won't be here in this class. So maybe we can go for it. We have some classes online as well on our YouTube channel, some introductory classes on detox, which will also give you a good idea. So you can scroll on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So there are some questions in the chat box, and I was looking forward for this question that what about Kundalini awakening? I have heard that chakra awakening is about Kundalini awakening. Yes, you are right. So Kundalini is a dormant Shakti, you know, which is lying at the base of the spine. But right now in this program, what we are doing is we are dealing with our day-to-day life experiences where chakras are connected. We are not going to work on our kundalini. That is not possible online. So we are not going to work on kundalini, and I don't even see the need right now, because the basic criteria for awakening your kundalini is first clearing your Ida and Pingla, clearing your Sushumna, clearing your chakras. When you do that, then we will do kundalini work if needed. So yes, right now it is not about kundalini awakening, nor it is connected also. You can separate chakras and kundalini nicely. Don't worry. Chakras are very much connected to our physiological and psychological being and mental health. So emotional health. So that aspect of chakra we can use and live a good life. And we can right now keep the concept of kundalini aside, which is not so, practical at this point of time with the lifestyles that we have. So it is not going to be about any kundalini awakening. If it happens through your chakras, talk to me. We will discuss what is happening to you, but it's not that easy. Recordings and YouTube has the class today, so it will be given. Yes. One more question. Will you be telling us asanas for the particular chakra? Absolutely, yes. That's one of the important aspect and part of our entire program. Yes, correct. Kundalini awakening requires constant guidance and personal guidance of ritual master. And it is a much in-depth subject for now. We are going to work on chakras for our day-to-day practical application, okay? Not Kundalini awakening. Any more questions? I see some raised hands. Sudhira Prabhu, you have question again, or it's the old hand raised? I don't know.
Another question. It's just a little bit, I just wanted like an overview. So we've talked about obviously the chakra healing, and that's the purpose of this course. And I know others asked about pranic healing and Reiki and Kundalini awakening. Like, what are there like broad groups of like healing? So this is like this type of school. Is there something useful that you recommend? Like, is something where we can find out more information to look at? Okay, these are the different modalities, and I mean, maybe not everything is covered in GEV, but obviously, like, it's just interesting to understand where it fits in.
When it comes to energy healing, I would recommend that this is one, like what you're doing is a yogic perspective and a tantric perspective that we're going to do. So this is one. Second aspect is pranic healing. So pranic healing is little separate. It does not have lot of mudras, pranayam aspect to it, not even asanas, I guess. It has more to do with the aura cleansing and some procedures like that. So pranic healing is a separate branch completely that one can consider. And Reiki is also is dealing with this our universal energy, where Reiki is where we send energy to someone or we transmit. We are a mediator. We are receiving energy through our sadhana and meditations. And whoever is sick, we are passing on that energy because that person is not able to do that for himself or herself. So Reiki is that one, another branch one can explore when it comes to healing. And some of the things we're going to discuss here is aromatherapy. I am not expert of this, but I'm going to give you some lists of, essential oils and gemstones that help with the chakras and healing. I'm just going to give you the list. I'm putting a disclaimer. I'm not a professional I have not using it much either. I use aromatherapy a little bit, but not crystals. But I'm going to give you the list, which is commonly always shared with your chakra healing. So these are some of the different, aromatherapy, then gemstone therapy that works on the chakras. But when it comes to energy work, yoga is one branch, pranic healing and Reiki. These are more authentic. Okay. So does Reiki, no, Reiki is the name of the practice. What flows through the nadi is our energy. Or ki. In Reiki, you can say ki. The energy is flowing through the nadis. Yeah, so just one question was there. I just combined it with your question.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Surbi has a question.
Hello.
Yes, Surbi. Hi.
Yes, thank you so much for a very interesting session. It's my first, and I really enjoyed listening to you. I wanted to ask specifically for sciatica. And I think it has a connection with the sacral. So will we learn about how to handle it?
Yes, definitely. We'll be going through in detail of every chakra, and everyone is going to find some tools for them, to work on yourself or whoever you want to work on. So a lot of things you're going to find.
And also, like this is more out of personal experience. I experienced awakening a couple of years back, and since then, I think I have had more aches and pains in my spine. So it might be because it was a sudden thing. Like it was not like I practiced for many years and then through initiation I experienced it. It was just a very sudden experience. So will I learn any tools and techniques on how to clear my blockages, because then maybe the pain will be released, because I feel that I'm experiencing spine related problems more after this sudden experience happened a couple of years back.
Yes, sure. So we are going to do a lot of contemplative activities, meditations, and some asanas too. So I'm sure all of this combined together is going to help you a lot. I personally.
Sure. Sounds good. And I think someone was asking a question related to seeing auras and all that. I think that has a lot to do with when you meditate very regularly, then your your abilities start increasing, and it has a lot to do with clairvoyance and clairaudience. So it is to do with clairvoyance. When your agya is activated, that is when all these abilities come. So it comes after purification and many years of meditation.
Correct. That is why a lot of meditation is always recommended when it comes to Reiki, pranic healing, even yoga path. Your own personal practice will have an amazing impact on your students whom you want to heal. Because you have to work on yourself too, parallelly, while you are working on somebody you are healing. Yes, so thank you, Surbi, for your input.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Sudhakarji, is this the previous raised hand? Okay, done. Good. Okay, done. All right, then we will end the class here. And for those who have joined the course, I'm already going to post some activity for you for this week. Because this activity is going to be based on vibration check. You need to check your own energy levels now through some questions. And so that you will know, okay, how is my energy level overall? What is the frequency I vibrate on, So this is what we're going to see through some activities and questions I'm going to post in a couple of days, as I want you to still settle down with the subject, go through the slides again. And then I'm going to post some of the MCQs as well, some questions, which will help you to go deeper into your studies. So this is the flow of our, the weekly format. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone, for your enthusiastic participation, questions. Okay. We will be posting this recording on the group, as well as this is, I think, live streamed on our YouTube channel, this first session. So whoever has joined late, missed the class, can see it again on the YouTube. And for those who are connected to our school already, if you know Priya Chaitanya Prabhu, please connect to him if you would like to join the course. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Namaste.